So I've had a really interesting, I guess you could say, discovery, moment of self awareness that has been such a huge light bulb moment for me. And I'm wanting to share this with you because I think you may be able to relate to this. So, if you have had um, an idea for like a business or something like that, a dream in your heart that you've really wanted to do, and you've tried different things but it hasn't felt like it got off the ground, or there's been all kinds of obstacles get in the way. Now, obstacles are normal. They're part of life, right? In terms of going after something that you really want. But I read a quote yesterday and I thought to myself, man, that is just so true. And it was along the lines of saying, when it comes to business, if there is an alignment, if there is no alignment, then everything about it seems hard, extra hard. And the reason why that really resonated with me was because I've been spending some time learning a particular platform, and it's incredible. It's amazing. Just so many light bulb moments for me personally. And through the process of the learning and the thinking how I can apply the dream in my heart that I want to do, I just had this epiphany of realizing that the thing that I wanted to start so many years ago is actually the right course of action for me. It's the original plan, because when I thought about it and realized that, I really wandered off and doubted myself, I think has been the thing, right? Doubting myself, doubting what I have to offer. And so, part of me thinks and wonders, maybe I just tried to talk myself out of it because I didn't really believe it or something. But anyway, what I realized is the stuff that I was trying to do and have had some success with, for example, right here on YouTube. Every time I'd sit down to think about, okay, what's my next video going to be about? What am I going to do next? All that sort of thing. There was a vibe around it of effort, of hard work, of difficulty, things to overcome, all that sort of stuff. And so there was no real like flow, or that's not even quite right. Flow isn't the right word, but sense of like excitement and passion. That's what was missing, excitement and passion. It felt more like work. And so as a result of that, guess what? I procrastinated. I spent more time trying to perfect the process, relying on scripts, feeling that I had to pre-write all of the words, every single word that I wanted to say to get it right. And that process alone would take me ages. So here's my point that I've discovered, that I've realized, and I want to share it with you. When you think about your circumstance and wanting to get something off the ground, and what that feels like, I want you to check in with energetically how that is feeling. Is there a passion? Is there an excitement? Is there an experience of, you're thinking about it all the time in a good, positive, excited way, compared to, oh, how do I figure this out? And what about this? And what about that? There's a really big difference between the two. And that's what I've realized. And so I want you to have a think about that. And if you notice that something's out of alignment, then spend some time thinking, exploring that. What is it about not feeling fully aligned with what I'm doing Is that a clue? Do I need to pay attention to that? Do I need to lean into that and understand what's behind that? Because like anything new, right, there are going to be challenges, and yeah, you've got to put in the time to learn. But I just want you to notice the difference that when you are putting in the time, when you are doing the learning, what are you noticing surrounding that? Is there the excitement? Is there the ideas that start sparking? Is there a sense of, this is what I want to do? All that self-talk. If none of that's there, then my encouragement is to have a think about the direction that you're going and spend some time, I guess, in your memory and your reflection, circling all the way back to when you very, very first started. What was your story at the very, very beginning? What was the something in you that lit a spark in you and you said to yourself, I want to do that? And tap into that, revisit that place and time. And for me, the realization that I had, maybe I thought it was too simple sounding. I don't know, but I'd gone through a massive life experience in my marriage, and through the trauma of nearly losing our marriage and all that sort of thing, I got to work on myself. I started to work on me because I realized that for my marriage, I needed to be the change that I wanted to see, right? So I started working on myself, and I'll never forget this one particular moment where um, we were literally picking up the pieces of the trauma we'd gone through as a husband and wife. So my husband used to be in the army, and he was medically diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, and no longer had a career that he loved so much. It was all gone. And I remember, the bills laid out on the table, and I just got really frustrated and angry at the fullness of the situation and the circumstance. And I remember like it was yesterday, just declaring out loud, I refuse to be defined by our circumstances. And later that day, this video popped up in my YouTube feed, and it was a video from a lady, a TED Talk, and her name was Patty Dabrowski. So I encourage you to look up this TED Talk by Patty, P-A-T-T-I, Dabrowski. And it was all about drawing the vision that you have for your life. What does that look like? And I was so intrigued by it. And I sat there and I drew it out. And that process just created this hope in me and this spark in me. And over a short period of time, I knew that I wanted to help others bring their dreams to life, because we nearly lost ours. Our dream was about family, about creating a future, about family values and more. And we nearly lost that. And so to come back and reignite and all that sort of thing was amazing. And yeah, helping others bring their dreams to life. There's a process to it and all that sort of thing. But what I realized was this: I'd kind of deviated away from that spark. And, shiny object syndrome, maybe you've experienced that as well. Like, oh, maybe I should try this and maybe I should try that. But it pulled me away from that heart moment. And here's the thing: there is an appointed time for dream restoration, just as there is for heart restoration. And I think sometimes the two are connected, because with restoration of the heart comes restoration of the dream that you had. So, recapping, check in with yourself in terms of your sense of alignment with that original spark that launched you down, even if it was just that first thought, launched you down the path of creating something incredible. Is there alignment? Can you hand on heart say, I'm so excited about this. I think about it all the time. I'm doing things towards making it become real. Or is the majority of it just feeling like work? So have a think about that. And I'd love to know where you landed. What changes are you going to make? What are you going to reconsider? What are you going to do more of? What are you going to stop doing? So I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below.